And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto, episode 538. Today is Friday, January 31st, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday. And of course, today's top stories. Bitcoin Cash sees no blocks for 5 hours, no significant backlog due to low usage. I think XRP is a scam, says former UFC star and Bitcoin bull Ben Askren. Crypto upstages other mobile payments in U.S. congressional hearing. The National Bank of Cambodia will launch a digital payments network this quarter. And last but not least, cyber criminals hide crypto mining script behind Kobe Bryant wallpaper. I mean, you talk about shameless people. What's going on, Shannon Allen? That is right. Shout out to Crypto Kobe. Keep securing the bed. Hey, Tessa, good morning to you. All right, before we get into it, let's go ahead and look at those prices, of course. Bitcoin is down 2.25% on the 24-hour clock at 9,267. So, of course, we'll be going through this chop. Like I said, by next Monday, I think we'll have an idea where we're headed for the next month. Ethereum's at $177, down 0.87%. Ripple is down 1% at 23 cents still. Bitcoin Cash is down 7.7%. Kind of expected that pullback, of course, after the big jump yesterday. So they're at $366. Bitcoin SV as well. $267, down 8.88%. I'm naming both of them for a quick trading lesson here. So yeah, this is how Bitcoin actually was. You know, you talk about 2017, beginning end of 2016, all of 2017. This was Bitcoin. Every day, 7%, 8%, 10%, 15%, 20%. So if you were a trader, are a trader, or looking to trade, these are the moments you start to trade. Yesterday would have been too late. Of course, it was a sell time when Bitcoin Cash pumped. But, you know, depending on your account size, you know, you're talking $10,000 plus or whatever. Those little percent swings, 8%, that's a big difference. So, again, Bitcoin Cash should probably dip a little bit more, to be honest with you. So I'm not saying this is a buy signal. But what I am saying is when you see a dip like this after a big pump like we saw yesterday and the day before, I will wait for it to try to hit one of his newer lows, buy back in already knowing that it can pump right back to $400 like it just did. So that's how you kind of make money in a volatile market. And Litecoin today, $66, down 1.61%. And EOS at $4, down 5.73%. It's pretty interesting on this. I guess the volume changed. Litecoin is being listed above EOS, so it may have been some changes last night, people. Interesting to see. What's up, the game I peep? Joe Mama. Joe Mama said, I told Tone Bays this AM to get out of the stock market. He called me crazy. Now it's down 500 points. Oh, man. You know, Tone only likes to look at that technical analysis, so if it doesn't say it on his paper, he's not really listening to it. All right, Bitcoin Cash sees no blocks for 5 hours. No significant backlog due to low usage. Ooh, that had to hurt for a headline. Looks like Bitcoin Cash blockchain has seen no new block for 5 hours earlier today. However, due to low usage, the transaction backlog was cleared without difficulty and normal activity resumed. Looks like data available on the Advanced Blockchain Explorer block shares show that Bitcoin Cash block number 620025 was mined at 2:14 on January 30th, and the next block was found at 7:33. Was found at 7:33. Why can't I say it? Yeah, 7:33 of the same day with 6,950 transactions and 2.33 megabytes, an unusually high number. The following block carried 15,090 transactions and 0.56 megabytes, after which the block has seen a standard amount of about 100 transactions or regular activity resuming. So I know for a lot of people, they're like, what did you just say? In layman terms, one of their blocks, of course, that's where all the transactions go. Once they fill up, you know, all the nodes will verify that block is real. It would, you know, allow that block to be processed, and no one can go back to it. That is what makes the blockchain. Each block, a bunch of transactions, they've been verified already. You close that block off. So once that block is closed, everyone on the network says all those transactions inside that block are real, they're verifiable, and you cannot double spend them. They're good to go. But if you have an open block for a long time, as in this case, it looks like almost half a day at least, is this what, 2:14 on January 30th and 7:33 on the same day? So yeah, I'm not sure if this is AM or PM, but let's just say at least half a day. When you have that block sitting there still that hasn't been filled or a new one been created, and that means you aren't processing transactions, which means people are not using your network. So for comparison, according to blockchain.com data, a Bitcoin block on average carries about 2,000 transactions. Blockchain shows that Bitcoin Cash, on the other hand, usually sees up to 500 transactions on a single block in a single block. So that's another thing. When Bitcoin Cash or Roger Ver was talking about Bitcoin can't scale, but we can. It was like, well, you don't have as many people on your network, and your blocks aren't as big or can't process as many transactions as well. So, kind of different the way they're actually processing their transactions. Again, so it looks like it was 5 hours and 19 minutes. So not too long, but still it kind of shows the volume they're having out on there. Twitter user Well Panda, a cryptocurrency enthusiast known by the crypto community, pointed out earlier today that the number of transactions in the block makes it apparent how little use Bitcoin Cash sees. Quote, Bcash or Bitcoin Cash has so few transactions that after 5.5 hours of no block, it still only fills up 2.3 megs, which means after 5.5 hours of no blocks, it still only fills up a small part of the block it's currently in at the time. So again, this article goes on to talk about blockchain mining anomalies, where sometimes blocks do have these anomalies. For example, they mentioned where block number 528249, which had a hash that was very unlikely for a miner to compute. More precisely, it was found that there is about a 0.4699 chance of this block hash being discovered. So if the algorithm is that difficult, which again makes the blockchain so secure, because a normal person just can't figure out these numbers on their own and steal the money. You need computers to do it. But the algorithm is that difficult, then sometimes that hash I'm not gonna say will not be discovered, but it will take longer for sure to be discovered. So we've seen anomalies on the blockchain before. So of course this could be one, but to the looks of it, it's just low volume, which is causing this. Again, that's a big hit to the Bcash community, but we'll see what happens with it. I'm sure Roger Ver will come out and say, no, this is fake news. This is fake news. What's going on? Allison Thompson, S1 Does, Blockchain Shuja. All right, and top story of the day, I think XRP is a scam. Let me say it louder so the bots could hear me online and come with the comments. I think XRP Ripple is a scam, says former UFC star and Bitcoin bull Ben Askren. Wow, as regulatory concerns over XRP, the world's third largest crypto asset, has been intensified. Some celebrities are stepping in to voice more FUD about the coin. Ben Askren, former UFC fighter and known Bitcoin bull, has driven more skepticism toward XRP with a short tweet on January 28th. I think XRP is a scam. Now, if you remember, Ben Askren, he came to the UFC about a year or so ago. I think he only competed in about 3 fights before he retired. He came, to the UFC a bit older. Competition may have not been exactly at the level he thought it was at. And you know what? He had a quick run in the UFC. He retired, but during his last 1 or 2 fights, of course, the Litecoin Foundation sponsored those UFC events, and you can see Ben Askren actually had a couple of cryptocurrency meetings at these UFC events where he was on the panel on one, I believe. And of course, he was talking about Litecoin. He got to meet Charlie Lee. He was praising Litecoin, and he was praising Bitcoin as well. So it looks like since then, of course, people have been hitting him up, asking him about his thoughts on other coins. And with those thoughts, again, he came out on Twitter. You can see it here. I think XRP is a scam. Posted on January 28th. So that's a lot coming from a person with that type of stage, right? You have your own crowd, you have your own followers and market, and you're pushing out that Ripple is bad or a scam in this case. Woo, that is not good news. Especially among the likes of people that he knows. He's not just a few mom and pops. Some people in some pretty powerful places. So that was pretty interesting to see. He also tweeted back in October 2019, just bought more Bitcoin using at eToro. Shout out to eToro. We're going to try to have them on here as well. It was really easy. Now you Twitter geniuses can tell me crypto's a scam when my assets go up. So this actually looks like a tweet from somebody who just jumped into crypto. So I love it. I love the enthusiasm. But again, it looks like Ripple has been continuously under attack. This article made note to mention that Ripple is actually down its 2 years lowest since 2018. It's true. And when you really, I mean, by the facts, it's true, which is crazy when you think about it. But to be fair, I think you should really consider factoring Ripple's price. When you talk about Ripple and its price, look at the price of Ripple in the first quarter of 2017. All right. I believe it was still less than 10 cents at the time. That's the price point you want to go off. That's the price point I've been going off of the last 3 years. I've been looking at Ripple as a crypto asset, an altcoin that in my mind should be worth less than 10 cents. So everything above it, like right now at 23 cents, I still think is a win. And I say that you might want to reframe your mind around it because, again, if you're new here, welcome. But if you're new and you're looking at an article like this, it says Ripple is at its 2-year low. I mean, a lot of coins are at their 2-year low or just got out their 2-year low the last few months here because we know we've been in a bear cycle the last 2 years. So I wouldn't really look at Ripple from 2018 now as far as the price goes in USD fiat terms, as well as I wouldn't really look at a majority of 2017 because it was pumping then too. I mean, if you remember, at its high, CNBC was hawking Ripple for $3.25, saying this is a buy now, buy now, buy now. And that's what people were doing. Way overpriced then, still a bit overpriced now, but it's starting to find it. So I wouldn't take it as its 2-year low as being a negative thing. If anything, is that it's it's still at a 3-year high. So I will shout out XRP for that. I don't want to down them out like hey, it's 2-year low, they're on their way down. No, I think they still have some life left in them. I keep saying that. I think they still have some trade value left in them. There hasn't been an official CBDC yet. We know Giancarlo is trying the digital dollar and some other people. But until we see that official, Ripple still has some life in it. All right, that's the truth behind that. All right, crypto upstages other mobile payments in U.S. congressional hearing. Of course they do. Something we've continuously talked about now is that cash is dead. It looks like Congress clearly has crypto in the brain, with the question of regulation being a matter of when. Of course they do. How can we take this money? A January 30th hearing before the fintech task force. If you remember, the new task force the U.S. made all of a year or two ago with our taxpayer money without asking us permission. A body within the United States House of Representatives, lawmakers were focused on bringing crypto into the conversation. The hearing is entitled, "Can You Believe This, People?" It took them another 3 or 4 whole years, but the title is Cash Still King? Reviewing the Rise of Mobile Payments. Feature testimony from witnesses with backgrounds spanning payment providers, consumer advocates, and financial inclusion nonprofits. This is the issue right here with the people they're inviting. You have payment providers, so you have PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all those types. Of course, you have your banks. You have consumer advocates. Who are really your consumer advocates? You're talking about lobbying groups or lobbyists who are working for companies who sponsor these lobbying groups. Very rarely for mom and pops. And financial inclusion nonprofits. I would like to know which ones. Again, I need to look more into this. But my point is, you don't have that mom and pop and retail voice out there, which is why every voice in the room is going to say yes to regulation. And it looks like what they're doing here, they're saying yes to digital dollars and crypto as long as the United States can control it. Something we talked about time and time again, something that Andreas Antonopoulos has tried to tell governments and regulators time and time again, that you will not control this, no matter how much you want to. So, again, it looks like some of the witnesses did mention cryptocurrencies, of course, and to the degree into which the industry occupied the hearing was actually surprising, it says. The members of the FinTech Task Force are clearly looking seriously at cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology as answers of financial inclusion and a sluggish payment process. So for the first time, at least, the government is now saying, yes, we do need crypto for financial inclusion, and they're admitting the payment process has been sluggish. I mean, I still have to pay my rent with a check. I can't believe it, people. It amazes me. I have to physically write out a check. It's crazy. But it looks like, you can read this on Cointelegraph. There's a few different congressional people, Congress people. You see here Representative Tom Emmer, a Republican from Minnesota, the ranking member of the task force. And this is my point. Why is some dude out of Minnesota the ranking member of a fintech task force? What type of financial or technology success has Minnesota seen on a global scale or even a national scale to where their representatives? I mean, was this the one guy who just didn't have nothing else on the plate? Everybody else had the big stuff, and he was like, "Well, I'll take it, guys." Like, why is I don't get it. I don't even get how he's the ranking member of the task force. But whatever. Minnesota lead the way. In his opening remarks, Emmer commented that Apple Pay, Zelle, Square Cash, and even Bitcoin are now household names. Yeah, and you have to remember, Apple Pay, Zelle, and Square Cash all received their technology from the Bitcoin blockchain and the technology associated with that. They all came out after Bitcoin. Looks like Representative French Hill, another Republican from Arizona this time, centered his questions around a blockchain-based rail in the banking system, asking the witnesses, can we have an approved regulatory payment rail that's blockchain-based that's available to banks and non-banks equally? Again, translation, can we have our own payment rail that we can use for banks and businesses like Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App, all using the same digital dollar? Because we already have this, minus the approved regulatory side of it. Bitcoin is available to everybody. Some banks have it on their platform. Silvergate Bank is using it. So Bitcoin is available for everyone. But as they mentioned here, an approved regulatory payment rail, they mean one that the U.S. agrees on, of course. Now they're saying, you can see here, executive director at the U.S. Faster Payments Council said that is going to be a regulatory problem. I don't think it would be a limit. I don't think it will be a limitation of technology being able to support that rail. It will actually come down to whatever policy limitations are in place. I can't believe we are paying these people to talk about things that we talk about here every day on the show. All right. No duh. I mean, we've been saying that. She said also goes on to say there's inconsistency in the way the blockchain is regulated today. Yes, we all know that. Again, this is why it's not even worth a conversation with the regulators or the government. It should be no regulation, no government, self-regulation, in my opinion, because this is like saying the United States has racist policies or systemic racism. And like, just don't even tell people that anymore. All right, stop beating your head on the wall. Stop getting angry about it. No duh. And everyone in power knows it, and nothing's being done. It's the same thing here when it comes to this payment process. They know Bitcoin and blockchain technology is superior to anything we've ever seen, okay? And that's okay. It's supposed to be. Someone tried something new using the digital landscape to create money, and it worked. So they already know blockchain technology is superior. They know the technology is there. They know we have developers there to make this payment rail possible. They know everything is there. They know, I mean, they do know that much, people. They don't know the technical details about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but they understand in layman terms, this is a superior product, this is a better technology, and is going to eventually take over. They understand all that. They don't want it to, okay? They don't want it to. That's why we've been dragging our feet in the mud. You think in 2017, for the first time since, I mean, people were literally comparing Bitcoin to the tulip mania. I mean, I think the tulip mania happened in the 17 or 1800s. So you have people comparing Bitcoin, and I might be way off on that, but I had to throw a crazy number out. But you have people comparing a novel technology to something as old as the tulip mania when they didn't even have phones back then, okay? My point is, if they have to go that far back in time to compare Bitcoin to something, that shows how novel of an asset it was. We literally saw an asset class go from $1,000 at the beginning of the year to $19,800 at the end of the year. Everyone who knows anything about government, economics, or money saw what happened. They are well aware of the power of Bitcoin. All right, so the point of having these task forces and these meetings with them and all their only their friends they're going to invite, again, they're talking about Apple Pay, Zelle, Square Cash. These are the people they invited. Those are the consumer advocates they're talking about. Consumer advocates for Apple Pay. Think about that statement. So when they're having these conversations, I'm going to call them for what they are. They're a bunch of circle jerks, all right? They already know the outcome. They know, everyone knows. And the point is just to do it, to say they did it. But to tell them, and again, Kim Ford, executive director of the U.S. Faster Payments Council, while she's right, she's also wasting her breath. They know there's no limitation on technology being able to support that rail, and it will actually come down to policy limitations. Those policy limitations is what they mentioned, the approved regulatory guidelines, keyword being the approved regulatory guidelines. So, and another representative says that here, a payment system that has a regulatory rail that's blockchain, that's open to banking companies and non-banking companies to offer a payment alternative is where we're headed. Again, they already know he's telling you where they're headed. They already know. They basically want a Bitcoin that can control. When they get a Bitcoin that can control, which is probably going to be called a central bank digital currency once they figure it out. Giancarlo's already working on it for them in an ancillary form. But once they get that, then they'll be able to move forward. And they even mentioned here, they're talking about the prospect of a digital dollar that could facilitate a wide spectrum of transactions. Quote, the ideal that we have a dollar mechanism that is a token for commercial or consumer transactions appealing. See, they like that. They don't like the one that's already in place that works, but they like the digital dollar version that they can control. And even here is being mentioned that there's nothing in current law that requires payment systems to be anchored to banks. They largely are, but as the presence of PayPal, Venmo show, you don't really need a bank to do that, but it's hard to pull one off without it. You're right. To the Constitution, there is no reason why a payment system has to be attached to the banks unless you're talking about the corrupt banksters who basically pay for people to get in power in our political process. And then they, of course, have regulations that go toward banks as being payment systems, which is why it's hard to pull one off without it. Just think about the last part of the statement. It's hard to pull off. It's hard to pull off without one. It's hard to basically have a payment system without a bank. Why is that? PayPal show you can do it. Venmo show you can do it. There's plenty of other things popping up. Cash App is showing you can do it. It's not that it's hard. From a technological point of view, it's actually very easy to have a payment system without a bank. What's hard is to do it without the government coming down to extort you or just close up shop in general because it's somebody else already paying them and you're their competition. So it's not hard. The government makes it hard. I think we have to start differentiating between these things and stop trying to make the politically correct statement. When it comes to our money, it's our money. That's my thing. It's our money, and you should be just as passionate about it as me. That's if you want to keep your money. But what do I know, right? I'm only in a nice neighborhood in Los Angeles, right? Who knows? What's going on, Mark Cooper? Yes, thumbs down to banks. Chainlink is plus 50% on the month. What's going on, Clarence and Dennison, Madam Crypto? All right, the National Bank of Cambodia will launch a digital payments network this quarter. I just had to mention this story because we just talked about in the last story. You better believe the United States are looking at the National Bank of Cambodia to figure out how they do it and some of the challenges they may face. Looks like the National Bank of Cambodia's new digital currency is called Bacong. It's effectively a central bank digital currency, CBDC, that was launched on a trial basis throughout Cambodia in July. Che Seri, Director General of the National Bank of Cambodia, said the system will be operational within the present fiscal quarter. Seri described Bacong as the national payment gateway for Cambodia. Bacong will play a central role in bringing all players in the payment space in Cambodia under the same platform, making it easy for end users to pay each other regardless of the institutions they bank with. Eventually, we hope to allow cross-border payment through the Bacong system too. Again, same with Cambodia. And by the way, I was in Cambodia not too long ago. Outside the ruins, no reason to go. All right, scary history, a modern history, scary modern history for some of the things that's happened there. They're still a country that's healing. They're still a country that's rebuilding. And why not use them for a test ground? And that's what it looks like is going on here. Again, they're talking about bringing all the players in the payment space. You can already do that with crypto. And the reason why I keep going back to Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain technology, because these conversations are happening for the first time in 2020, or in this case, in July of 2019. These conversations are just now happening. Bitcoin has been around for how long, right? The conversation happened toward the end of 2017 when they saw how high Bitcoin was going. They saw that, wow, this could actually take over the world's payment system. And they did the same thing that was done to Libra. And when I say they, I mean governments and banks around the world. It was an intentional FUD being hurled at Bitcoin. Same way FUD was being hurled at Libra when Libra first got up and started picking up steam. And then they just basically tried to crush it, which we saw happen with Libra as well. Again, it's not about bringing all the players in the payment space. It's about, oh, we didn't even know we had the technology, or there was even an idea to bring everybody on the same payment platforms. So I think we need to admit governments are just now recognizing that, 3 or 4 years later, or technically 11 years later after crypto. And now they're, of course, trying to monopolize on it. But we'll see what happens in Cambodia. From my experience there, I don't think it's going to catch on quickly. When it comes to technology, Cambodia is behind the curve. It is I don't know if it's actually being stated as this on platforms or internet. I don't know how these country rankings are ranked, but I am here to tell you it is a third world country to the fullest. So I'm not even sure how this CBDC is going to work, because when I was there wasn't a lot of digital transactions going. It was straight cash almost everywhere you went. Again, this is a third world country, people. So I don't know. It'll be pretty interesting to see how this works. I can't wait to see, but I don't know. I guess we'll be in the temple ruins with our phones out using Bacone somewhere to buy some touristy stuff. Who knows? We'll see what happens, right? All right. Last but not least, got to throw this warning out there. The shameless cyber criminals on this one. I can't believe it. Cyber criminals hide crypto mining script behind Kobe Bryant wallpaper. I mean, goodness gracious, nothing is safe. Opportunistic cyber criminals are capitalizing on the death of basketball legend Kobe Bryant earlier this week by setting booby traps for those searching for mementos of the star. According to a tweet by Microsoft Security Intelligence on January 31st, hackers are hiding malicious HTML code containing a cryptojacking script and desktop wallpaper of the NBA all-time great. This is, wow. This just shows how sophisticated the scams and the hacking is, people. This is a sophisticated scam. Think about it. Everybody, I'm telling you right now, half of the city of LA is downloading Kobe wallpaper. I just saw Kobe Bryant mural in Beverly Hills yesterday, and as my Uber driver pointed out, he was like, "Hey, honestly, how many black men have you seen with a mural in Beverly Hills?" And I really thought about it. I was like, well, he has a point. Hasn't been many to get many of anybody to get a mural in Beverly Hills, period. And I say mural, it was actually just a big, I think it was actually a big poster. I didn't think they painted it. I think they're planning on it, but not many people, black, white, or whatever, get one of those in Beverly Hills regardless. So to see a human with their mural at this location, this was right here off of Santa Monica as you drive by the main Beverly Hills tourism sign everybody goes to take pictures at. So to see that there shows the power of him on an international scale. It's an international location where this little painting is at, or this big poster. But my point is, you better believe people are downloading Kobe Bryant desktop wallpapers all throughout the world right now. So for a scam to hop onto that train, literally within 5 days now, that is crazy to me. Looks like, again, cryptojacking is a practice whereby criminals hijack processing power from other computers to mine cryptocurrency remotely. And again, here it looks like if you download certain wallpapers online, and the Microsoft team found this, so shout out to the Microsoft team. The malicious HTML file Trojan, you can see here, HTML/brocoiner.n !IB. With its Defender virus protection software, the coin mining script was disguised as a desktop wallpaper featuring an image of Kobe Bryant. The website hosting the coin miner was blocked by the software. So again, in a very short time, you're seeing this. And this is our point. You always have to be on your toes in the crypto community. Or in this case, it's not even the crypto community, really. They're using it to mine cryptocurrency, which is why it's a story. But anybody could download this. If your 8-year-old has access to a computer and they've been playing basketball and they look up to Kobe and they want to download this wallpaper, your computer's now being mined for crypto. So it's crazy to see this, but again, in this space, you have to be leery of this stuff because it happens that fast. Everything's that secure until it's not. And this is another reason why, to end the show, I want to bring this back around. This is another reason why we cannot have cryptocurrency or payment platforms in the hands of governments. You can't have a CBDC, a central bank digital dollar, central bank digital currency, because they don't even understand the technical side of the market. They don't even understand this side of the market, the scam side of it. It's already hard enough to navigate it with Bitcoin, right? Which is the most secure blockchain out there. Everyone's eyes is on it 24/7. I am telling you now, if we get a centralized CBDC that really starts to move weight, they're going to get hacked. Something's going to happen to the network. It will happen. Don't tell me it's not when all our social security numbers just got hacked by Equifax, okay? Like, it's going to happen. They cannot stop it. So just the ideal of us trying to go toward the CBDC is a terrible ideal, basically for the reason we don't have enough professionals working for the government or in any of these fields to where we can actually maintain a network and keep it safe. So to me, this is just another example that goes to show. I mean, you can now put Trojans inside of, you can put viruses inside of wallpapers. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But other than that, again, just wanted to make sure everybody was aware. That's the news for the week. As always, people, make sure you smash that like and share button. And of course, make sure you're out there securing the bag this weekend. Shout out to TGoC again for that Secure the Bag shirt. And shout out to Bitcoin's Ed. I think he told me he was going to be around North Carolina Central perhaps this weekend with the Bitcoin and Black America book tour. So if you're out in Southeast, make sure you check him out as well. Again, other than that, that's the show today. I don't know why I just slurred and mumbled that. That's the show today. That is the show for today. Make sure you smash that like and share as always. Thanks for watching. I will see you all next week with some more crypto news. Cheers.